Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Get Your Play Online. My name is Sarah, and today we are reading Amazing Grace by Mary Hoffman, and it is illustrated by Caroline Binch. Do you know what illustrated means? Illustrated means that an illustrator is a person who draws the pictures. So you can see we have some really beautiful illustrations in this book, some beautiful pictures. So I'm just going to show you them really quickly. And if you have this book on your bookshelf, go ahead and go grab it now so that you can follow along with us as we read Amazing Grace. All right, so let's just take a quick picture walk through our book and see these really pretty pictures. So this week here at Get Your Play Online, our theme is storybooks. So we're talking about princesses and pirates and other things in storybooks. And this book really fits in really well with that theme because Grace, our main character in our story, loves reading stories and she loves acting out those stories. And so we're going to see that in our book today. You can see the pictures, they're really pretty. And in our story, a classmate in Grace's class tells Grace that she can't do something because she's a girl. And then they tell her that she can't do something because of the color of her skin. And that's not very kind. And so we're going to talk about that today, and we're going to learn that you can do whatever you want if you put your mind to it. All right, so here is the end of our picture walk, and we're going to start reading our book for tonight, Amazing Grace. All right, here we go. Amazing Grace. Grace was a girl who loved stories. She didn't mind if they were read to her or told to her or made up in her own head. She didn't care if they were in books or movies or out of Nana's long memory. Grace just loved stories. After she heard them, sometimes while they were still going on, Grace would act them out, and she always gave herself the most exciting part. Grace went into battle as Joan of Arc and wove a wicked web as Nancy the spider. See, it looks like she's using her imagination and she's using things around her house to act out her book. That's a fun thing to do. She hid inside the wooden horse at the gates of Troy. There she is up there. Do you know of that story? She went exploring for lost kingdoms. She sailed the 7 seas with a peg leg and a parrot. This week, a lot of our activities are about pirates. She was Hiawatha, sitting by the shining big sea water. And Mowgli in the backyard jungle. So Grace really likes to use her imagination to act out the stories. Most of all, Grace loved to act out adventure stories and fairy tales. When there was no one else around, Grace played all the parts herself. She set out to seek her fortune with no companion but her trusty cat, and found a city with streets paved in gold. Or she was Aladdin, rubbing his magic lamp to make the genie appear. Do you know the story of Aladdin? That's a fun story. Sometimes she could get Ma and Nana to join in when they weren't too busy. Then she was Dr. Grace, and their lives were in her hands. You can see it looks like she's playing doctor there, and she's getting them all fixed up. She's listening to her Nana's heartbeat, and it looks like maybe she's helping her leg with a cast or something. One day, Grace's teacher said that they would do the play Peter Pan. Grace knew who she wanted to be. When she raised her hand, Raj said, "You can't be Peter. That's a boy's name." What do you think about that? Do you think that's a very kind thing to say? I don't think it is. But Grace kept her hand up. "You can't be Peter Pan," whispered Natalie. "He isn't black." Do you think that's a very kind thing to say? I don't think so. We shouldn't tell people that they can't do things based on the color of their skin. But Grace kept her hand up. "All right," said the teacher. "Lots of you want to be Peter Pan, so we'll have auditions next week to choose parts." She gave them words to learn. When Grace got home, she seemed sad. "What's the matter?" asked Ma. "Raj said I can't be Peter Pan because I'm a girl." "That just shows what Raj knows," said Ma. "A girl can be Peter Pan if she wants to." Grace cheered up, and then later she remembered something else. "Natalie says I can't be Peter Pan because I'm black," she said. Ma looked angry. But before she could speak, Nana said, "It seems that Natalie is another one who don't know nothing. You can be anything you want, Grace, if you put your mind to it." On Saturday, Nana told Grace they were going out. In the afternoon, they caught a bus and train into town. Nana took Grace to a grand theater. The sign outside read Rosalie Wilkins and Romeo and Juliet in sparkling lights. They're at the theater there. "Are we going to the ballet, Nana?" asked Grace. "We are, honey, but first I want you to look at this picture." Grace looked up and saw a beautiful young ballerina in a tutu. Above the dancer it said, "Stunning New Juliet." Look. Here's this ballerina, and she looks like Grace. Anyone can be anyone that they want. It doesn't matter if they're a girl or a boy, and it doesn't matter the color of their skin. "That one is little Rosalie from back home in Trinidad," said Nana. "Her granny and me, when we grew up together on the island. She's always asking me, do I want tickets to see her Rosalie dance? So this time I said yes." After the ballet, Grace played the part of Juliet, dancing around her room in her imaginary tutu. "I can be anything I want," she thought. On Monday, the class met for auditions to choose who was best for each part. When it was Grace's turn to be Peter, she knew exactly what to do and all the words to say. She had been Peter Pan all weekend. She took a deep breath and imagined herself flying. When it was time to vote, the class chose Raj to be Captain Hook and Natalie to be Wendy. There was no doubt who would be Peter Pan. Everyone voted for... Who do you think they voted for? Grace! They voted for Grace! "You were fantastic," whispered Natalie. Aw, that's awesome. The play was a big success, and Grace was an amazing Peter Pan. After it was all over, she said, "I feel as if I could fly all the way home." "You probably could," said Ma. "Yes," said Nana. "If Grace put her mind to it, she could do anything she wants." The end. So thanks for reading along with me today. That was our book, Amazing Grace. And today we learned that you can do whatever you want if you just put your mind to it. And so if you see some kids who are getting picked on because they're a girl or because they're a boy or because their skin is white or their skin is brown or their skin is black or their skin is a different color, that's not kind. And so I encourage you to tell a grown-up if those kids are getting picked on, and be their friend and be kind and stand up for them. So thanks for reading along with me. I am so glad that you were here and we got to hang out together during this time. I hope you sleep super well tonight, and I hope that you will join me for another bedtime story sometime. Again, my name is Sarah, and thanks for joining us here at Get Your Play Online. Bye, everyone.